This is my MSUS culminating experience presentation. And to start, I wanted to go back all the way to late 2017 when I decided that I was going to study the GRE and apply to grad school for the fall of 2018. While I was looking at programs at ASU, the MSUS program caught my eye. I really like this part that I have highlighted at the bottom. It talks about the program being designed to build competencies to holistically analyze sustainability challenges while also enabling students to envision solutions, and it combines that with providing the skill set needed to bridge the gap between the two. And I also like this part at the top that said that the program fuses foundational sustainability coursework with your own area of interest. Once I was able to start making my own schedule, it became pretty clear pretty fast that I wasn't sure what my area of interest was. So I'm going to end up with 50 credit hours for a 33 credit hour course or degree. I took classes that had to do with engineering, some that had to do with business, some that had to do with communications, and some that had to do with policy. And I kind of began to worry that I was going to graduate before I ever figured out what my area of interest was. And then I came across this quote from President Crow during his class this semester, and it helped me out a lot because it reminded me what I really feel passionate about, and it's this idea of connecting science to practice. And so I feel like the reason I couldn't find my area of interest is because I'm genuinely interested in all areas of sustainability. And what I feel driven to do is to help breach this firewall between science and practice, and to help bridge that gap between problem analysis and solution vision. And as a photographer, I feel like I could do that using cameras. So here is a quick example of some of the videos that I made during my time as a graduate student. And I'm relatively happy with these short types of videos that I've made. So I figured that that's what I would do for my culminating experience project. But somewhat to my chagrin, every time I reached out to George for advice, he kept telling me that I could do more with video than make a documentary. He kept talking to me about how Peter Bick has figured out how to fuse filmmaking with fundraising and research. And I thought that's really cool. I like Peter, but I'm not sure I'm as smart as he is. And I don't know, I couldn't come up with how that would look or what my approach might be. So that brings us to the project, and this is Mr. Shivka. I've admired Nick's compassion and his intellect since we first met 2 years ago, and I think we share a lot of the same values, so I was naturally drawn to his project. Pre-COVID, my idea was to make a documentary, just showing what his project was. Then the pandemic kind of shuttered filming on the documentary. We were still able to have Zoom sessions, obviously, and meet remotely. And we screen recorded those, and it's great audio, but it's really not compelling footage, the type that you'd want to put into a narrative that's meant to motivate people to action. So with the filming halted, I was kind of forced to think a little bit harder about George's advice. And that's when Nick went from being my documentary subject to being probably unwittingly, my media campaign client. So here I've got my client's mission of incubating a local sustainable worker-owned co-op with the goal of transforming the economy toward one that facilitates social and environmental justice. So this is my cat Arbus. Together we are known as Charles Darr Enterprises. We took Nick on as sort of a practice client for my possible future career of developing media strategies for organizations. Aligning ours with his incubator organization's vision. I developed a digital media campaign aimed at increasing the interest in my client's work by building a website that is meant to be persuasive, informative, and which features the eventually finished documentary video that showcases not only the services that my client provides, but also the positive impacts that those services can help other people generate. So I've created a quick demo video of the website. I'll share that now if I can find the play button. So this is the website that I built, or am building. It's still in progress, but This is the home page. On there, I've got the mission and vision statement on there to explain what this project is about, as well as a little welcome video I'll play for you now. You work hard to get ahead. You show up for your job on time every day, and you often stay late. You have kids to take care of, a car payment, a mortgage, food, gas, utility payments. You even have student loans that you feel like you'll never be able to wipe out, even though you make payments on time each month. Work is busier than ever, and you're at your peak performance, yet your income hasn't changed to reflect the additional value that you've provided the business. It doesn't seem fair that you generate an increasing amount of revenue for your employer, and then you watch without a voice as that revenue is directed towards skyrocketing shareholder profits, while payroll stays pretty much the same. You care about the environment. You carpool when you can. You bring reusable bags to buy groceries. You've reduced your meat consumption. You carry a refillable water flask everywhere, and you recycle at home. You even donate a portion of your income to a nonprofit that is supposed to fight climate change. Yet you follow the news and you watch as the world continues toward environmental collapse, despite all of your individual efforts. It doesn't seem fair that you're doing your part, but it still feels as though you make no difference. The truth is, these challenges are built into the design of our economic system. When businesses focus solely on profit maximization, they do so at the cost of environmental degradation and worker exploitation. It's the way that we've designed our economy to operate that is the underlying cause of our sustainability challenges. We've determined that businesses should have one mission and one mission only: maximize profits for wealthy investors. To achieve this goal, businesses are designed to promote efficiency above all other values. Efficiency of generating profits for investors can be achieved by externalizing the negative social and environmental impacts of a business organization's operations. By externalizing the unintended outcomes of the operations, businesses don't account for the cost of these outcomes to the rest of society and to the planet. And by not measuring these negative impacts, businesses become literally unable to see their role in creating such problems as high atmospheric carbon concentration, deforestation, soil degradation, ocean acidification, biodiversity loss, poor air and water quality, and islands of plastic waste. So what do? It's going to be up to us, the people alive on this planet today, to redesign and update our 20th century economic system so that it favors business activities that include safeguards for our environment and better serves the people of the 21st century and beyond. What does this mean? It means that we reimagine the fundamental role of businesses in our world. It means that we recognize the role of our ecosystem and its essential natural processes and account for them in businesses' balance sheets as a form of capital that is as necessary for doing business as is financial capital. It means that workers are valued as more than just tools for generating shareholder profits and are recognized as vital stakeholders in the outcomes of a business's operations. Outcomes such as their own integrity and the health and wellness of their communities. Luckily for us, we live in a time in which there are a lot of very smart and very hardworking researchers and scientists who have spent a lot of time exploring possible solutions that we can incorporate into our design of a new and sustainable economy. If you're interested in what some of these scholars have to say about sustainable business design, please browse the content featured on this website. You'll find other videos that feature leading sustainability experts discussing various aspects of business operations and solutions to incorporate into a new design. You will also find additional information and links to other resources for building the economy of the 21st century. And working backwards from the homepage, I've got a tab here called Design Tools. This part's still under development, but I'm going to continue working with Nick and try to develop some easy learning modules here for people at home. In the meantime, I have built a couple libraries of resources. The literature that I've collected varies in sophistication to appeal to a variety of people depending on their level of interest. So we've got some research articles here or some university publications and some just more general websites explaining what's going on in the cooperative movement. And for people like myself, I have included a library of videos. And these videos are from sources such as United Nations, National Geographic, the Royal Society for the Arts, TED Talks, and they range in length and sophistication, again, for people who maybe just have a couple minutes to watch a quick explainer animation, or people that would prefer to watch a full presentation or panel discussion or full documentary. I'm also including longer edits of the interviews that I've used for the documentary film. So for example, I have a longer interview with Dr. Darnall. I use sound bites for the documentary, but I wanted to also include a fuller version of that conversation. So we talk about procurement here on the supply side. I've also talked with Mr. Tetroltz about the waste side. And so we talked a lot about recycling and composting, as well as circular economy principles and reusing resources that were considered waste at one time as new resources for other enterprises. And last but not least, I've got a tab for Nick's Incubator, and this will host the full-length documentary once it's finished. So it's got a quick lead explaining what his project was, and host the film to show, what services Nick's Incubator provides aspiring entrepreneurs. And the film, again, gives a lot of context from science experts that explain why these solutions work, and viewers are also able to watch as people just like them go through an incubator program and develop their own business. All right, that's it. Thank you.